What is going on, Skull family? I'm Kyle.
And I'm Darin.
And this is the Purple Dopes with Hopes podcast. Darin, I sent you a text message on Thursday that read, currently not a lot of Vikings news to talk about. We're going to have to make this more personal. And then the Vikings god smiled upon us on Friday morning and boom, we got a lot to talk about.
Just crazy, man. Just so unexpected. But again, good on you for putting that out into the universe. And the Vikings gods answered and said, sure, we'll give you some news to talk about.
I blew the old skull horn and away we go. So welcome in Purple Dopes with Hopes podcast listeners. My friend Darin and I, we are part of the Let's Skull Network. And we love talking about this team, the Minnesota Vikings, that we are in the off season. So our hopes are just driving up and up every single day, sometimes groundbreakingly high every single day. But we are excited to bring you another episode number 30, actually, of the Purple Dopes with Hopes. So here we go. If you're finding us on YouTube, please make sure subscribe to our channel. We are closing in on 200 subscribers.
Oh, let's go, baby.
We got a shout out. We got a little shout out to One Bar and Lubagus for that one because they did give us a great push. And so shout out to One Bar and Lubagus. Lubagus, we would love to bring you on.
Absolutely.
That was a great straight skull last week that we had with One Bar. And then if you're finding us on any of the podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or Amazon, Darin, we got another review this week. So B Walker 23, shout out to you. Thanks for taking time to review the Purple Dopes podcast.
Yeah, appreciate it.
And still a 5.0. So please
awesome.
Continue to bring the reviews and ratings. And then YouTube, let's get to 200 this week. Let's do it. Let's drive it up.
Yeah, baby.
All right. Well, that is enough of the intros because let's just kick it off with the biggest bombshell that neither of you and I could have imagined. 2 weeks after the Vikings season over, they fire the general manager. Kwesi is no longer our general manager. What were your thoughts when that news hit your feed, hit your phone, hit your screen, whatever it was?
It was really funny because it was during the workday, so I was randomly scrolling like Twitter, and I see Tom Pessolero posted it, and I was like, so I immediately jump over to like ESPN, Pro Football Talk. There's nothing.
Yeah.
And so I'm like refreshing. I'm like, is this fake? Like no one else is talking. And then 10 minutes later, it's everywhere. I was like, I can't believe they did it now.
Yeah.
And again, like if they would have done this right after the season, I wouldn't have been surprised.
Sure.
Just because, we had talked about that previously. It felt like a head needed to roll based on how the season went. But yeah, it kind of felt like they were going to run it back with no moves, a couple weeks into the offseason, then dropping a bomb on all of us. Crazy.
Well, yeah. And I think to me, that's where it comes down to. And that's what I've been kind of saying as I've been sharing out. Like the timing of all of it is so strange. I mean, all the firings have already been done.
Yep.
Like you feel like teams are kind of moving forward into their offseason thinking other than the Seahawks and the Patriots. And then 2 weeks, I guess a week and a half later, they send Kwesi to the Senior Bowl to scout players at the Senior Bowl. And then Friday morning, they announced that he's out. And it just seems that the timing of all of it just seems super strange. So I'm wondering if some backdoor conversations were happening, and we'll get into kind of some of the rumors swirling.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah. In that last week, maybe while Kwesi was away at the Senior Bowl, some backdoor meetings with maybe KOC, Brian Flores, and realized that the direction they were needing to go, Kwesi wasn't the one that they needed to be leading us or being the one to lead us.
Yeah.
In. And to me, there's a lot of questions. There's more questions than answered, obviously, right now. And maybe as true stuff actually starts coming out, we'll get a better feel for it. But yeah, I was definitely
find out like true stuff. I think it's going to be rumors and hearsay, as far as we can hear it, and then it'll all just die down. Because again, KO is not going to come out and be like, "Oh yeah, me and Kwesi, we didn't get along." Like he's not going to do that,
Sure.
But it sure seems like they weren't in agreement on the direction.
Yeah.
And again, I think a lot of that comes down to the quarterback position, and especially last year, Darnold, McCarthy. Who knows what was said? Again, there's a lot of speculation. I think that KO isn't a fan of McCarthy, which I'm not going to believe that necessarily, but McCarthy's his guy until he's not at this point. So even if you didn't want to draft him or didn't want to roll with him last year, that's just where we're at right now as a team. I will say the speculation's interesting. The one that kind of I wholeheartedly disagree with is the one where they're talking about him taking parental leave after his son was born.
Oh, I hadn't even heard this one.
Yeah, people being critical, supposedly internally being critical of him for taking this time. And I think it was like 2 weeks. So I'm kind of like, birth of a kid, like,
for sure.
Leave the guy alone. Like that's not anything against his work ethic. But then it does sound like beyond that, he did work odd hours, which made it hard to communicate with him.
Yeah.
Again, all speculation. I don't know what's true. It sounds like there's quite a few leaks coming out of the Vikings camp.
And it's been interesting to see kind of those players, coming out and showing that support to Kwesi. In regards to this. But yeah, I think the one that I've kind of seen popping up is like Kwesi never felt accepted. He never felt accepted. And I don't know how accurate that can be when it seems like everyone was in on this guy while he was in the building.
He was brought in before KOC. So, again, I don't know how that went when KOC was interviewing. Because I remember we almost hired Jim Harbaugh, it felt like.
Yeah. Yes.
But, Kwesi was part of those interviews. So I don't know, again, none of this is public. It's all speculation.
Yeah.
But, I don't know how he wouldn't feel accepted as when you're the GM of the team. I don't you're running the show here.
Absolutely. If you're not feeling accepted, you're going to find people who accept you and bring them in, right? I mean, that seems like to make the most sense as the head boss.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing that I've been hearing swirling around is this idea that Kwesi was in on McCarthy when KOC wasn't. And
for the draft or for this year?
No, for starting this season.
Okay, yeah.
That KOC had said JD McCarthy isn't ready, and Kwesi was the one that was pushing for.
Because he said this is the plan.
Yeah, which it seems a little odd to me that the head coach doesn't make head coaching decisions. Like, is it that heavy of a hand?
That's where the split between GM and head coach, there needs to be alignment because, especially at the quarterback position, if you're not aligned, that's asking for trouble, which is what we got this year.
Absolutely. And then obviously Sam Darnold playing in the Super Bowl.
That doesn't help.
Do the Wilfs not take notice to that and go, what process were you working with? Maybe we should have got on that process. I don't want to say Sam Darnold going to the Super Bowl is the main factor in Kwesi losing his job, but I definitely think it raised some questions of hey, where was your judgment at when you were moving forward with these decisions?
Well, even Drake May, all that speculation a couple of years ago that we wanted Drake May. It's if we really wanted him, they should have made it happen. Because again, I don't think the Patriots were going to give away that pick for nothing. But if you truly have a quarterback that you've identified as this is the guy, you got to go get him
for sure.
And again, maybe the Patriots want to trade it no matter what. Maybe they love Drake May too. Hard to know, but I just remember all the talk around that draft is the Patriots are more than a quarterback away and be willing to trade as long as they got requisite draft capital in return.
Sure.
Again, who knows? But it's nuts, man, to have that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, I think it's just, continue to raise more questions as more stuff comes out. And the hard part for us as, Vikings podcasters, content creators is how do we sift through what's true, what's not true? And
we just got to start our own rumors.
That's exactly right. We just need to start releasing our own stuff here.
Right. That's right.
Kwesi was having a Christmas party and he didn't invite certain guys to it. And and all of a sudden, maybe the Wilfs got wind of it and they didn't like that they didn't get an invite. So I don't know.
As I look ahead though, I'm actually really excited. And this is not just saying I didn't like Kwesi. I will say his drafts were completely unimpressive when we're talking about his best pick being a 6th round kicker.
The thrill. But let's get real. That's the number one goal of our next GM. Sign that guy to a lifetime contract.
Yeah. Don't let him get out of the building. But yeah, so to me, it makes sense. Especially with the plan right now, putting Brzezinski in the top spot for now.
Yeah.
And he's really more of a salary cap guru than he is a talent evaluator, from my understanding. So it's really going to fall to KOC and Flores.
Yep,
to
100%.
go get the guys that they feel are the ones they need in the positions of need that will help the team immediately. Because like we've been talking, we have to hit on probably the first 4 or 5 guys.
Yep.
In terms of like starting or a lot of playing time.
Yeah.
Because I think we have 6 guys on the roster in Kwesi's 4 drafts. Is that right?
Ty Chandler, which is
maybe, I forgot about Ty Chandler. I'm not sure if he'll be on the roster next year.
Yeah, Jordan Addison, Naylor, and
Jackson, obviously.
Yes. Oh, Theo Jackson.
No, Donovan Jackson.
Donovan Jackson. That's what. Yeah, Donovan Jackson. The lineman. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's more than 6, but like I think it's less than 10 guys.
Yeah,
so it's just you can't build a team. I can't build a championship team doing that.
Yeah.
And especially like our swings in free agency even missed. So it was like at least last year, so it's like, I don't know.
Unfortunately, like
there is what we need.
This decision was a product of what was supposed to be the second coming of the 98 Minnesota Vikings leading us to the NFC Championship, if not the Super Bowl. And we missed. And if you want to blame that on injuries, if you want to blame that on bad quarterback play, if you want to blame that on just bad luck, I mean, in the end, someone's got to be held responsible.
Absolutely.
And I think it just fell on Kwesi, based on all the factors of the things that were part of the process, that the process didn't get finished. And so.
But looking ahead again, I'm curious to see, like, they're going to hire someone after the draft, they said, right? So
that's what's recently come out, is they're going to wait till after the draft to do that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, as it's KOC, Flores, Brzezinski, a few of the other front office guys that are still around, but see how they kind of work together. And there's probably a chance for Rob Brzezinski to maybe hold on to that top spot if it feels like, everything's flowing well between he and KOC and Flores and the rest of the team. So I'm excited. Again, I'm no secret, I'm a huge KOC guy, and I think it's been great for him to like have more of a hand in the talent evaluation and who they're bringing in house. So super excited for him to get his guys in and see what we can do.
Well, it's like we chatted about last week. It's like, this is KOC's make or break year. And okay, dude, Kwesi's out. We got a guy as the acting GM who's, like you said, more of a salary cap guy. This is your season to win or lose, man.
Yep.
And bringing in Flores, you two guys get together and figure out what you think is going to make this team the best team, and let's see what happens. And I wasn't anti-Kwesi. I liked him. I actually thought he was a pretty good guy. Seemed like he had a good, positive climate culture that he created there. But at this point in time, KOC, Flores, it's your time to shine. And this is really your year to make it or break it. And I'm just hoping with all my heart that they're going to make it and they're going to hit. And free agency, they're going to find the right pieces in the draft. They're going to hit. And, we walk into next season with higher hopes than we had this season, which I feel like at the beginning of this year, we were pretty hopeful.
We were pretty hopeful. But, and I don't disagree. It's make or break, not Super Bowl or bust, but minimum, we have to be in the playoffs. I'm not going to go so far as to say if we lose in the first round of the playoffs, you fire KOC.
Yeah.
But I think it'll depend how you lose and kind of the circumstances. But I think you do have to get to the playoffs.
Yeah. I think he has to win a playoff game. I just think it's got to happen based on what we've seen this offseason with coaches being fired. If he doesn't win one this year, the question they'll just ask is when's it going to happen? And because we've been playing this next one for the last 4 seasons with KOC, and we got to have one. I think as Vikings fans, as the Vikings front office, we got to have one.
One thing I'll say, and again, that is more of a conversation for next year, but we'll have to see who's available for coaching candidates, because I don't know. I don't want to fire KO and then be like, okay, we're going to hire someone who's probably worse.
Well, I mean, we did just give a pretty good extension to a guy who may be able to slip into that role. Not like Purple Dopes, calm down. I'm not calling for KOC's head.
That's true. That's true.
Having Brian Flores there at second in command is like, we do have a decent reliever in there.
Backup.
Yeah. But KOC's already making moves. I don't know if you saw him. He added Frank Smith from the Dolphins as an assistant head coach, which I think will be super beneficial for maybe play calling, the offensive piece.
Yeah.
And then Keith Carter from the Dolphins as well. So he's just kind of pickpocketing the Dolphins organization right now. But we do know the Dolphins offense, aside from this season, the last couple of years has really, been kind of a driving force for that team. So
absolutely. Yep.
And I was going to get your opinion. Like, what do you think about this assistant head coach title? Does that mean anything to you?
No,
I didn't think so.
No, again, I think people are like, Howard Flores is not the assistant head coach, which I understand, like the sentiment. Brian Flores is the head coach and GM of the defense. Yeah. So I don't know, like everyone knows it. So what's the point of trying to boost his title more? Like, I don't think he cares.
Yeah.
Like making him the assistant head coach, that's not a head coach. So I think for him, I think he likes being a D coordinator, but obviously wants to be a head coach.
For sure.
And so that's the only title that's going to matter to him.
Do you feel like this is a little bit of a wake-up call to Wade Phillips, bringing in a guy like Frank Smith?
Wes Phillips.
Sorry, not Wade Phillips. Wes Phillips. Goodness, my names today are terrible.
Sunday. Yeah, again, like I had said, I could have seen Wes Phillips being the guy that was the sacrificial lamb this year. Wasn't the case, which again, I'm fine with that. But I think he's got to look over his shoulder and make sure he's doing what he needs to help the offense succeed this year.
Oh, absolutely, and I think just having that simple sounding board for KOC at his side, I think is going to be a big thing. I think we saw this year with the offensive kind of struggles that he could really use a guy, and I think Frank Smith brings something to that offense. If not to just lean in his ear and say, "Hey, it's 3rd and short. Run the ball, man. Run the ball." That's what we need.
Yeah, 100%. No, I think just having some fresh faces on the offensive coaching staff, to your point, that's
for sure.
That's going to pay dividends for the team. So super excited for the moves, and I like the way that the coaching staff shaping up.
Absolutely. Well, we got to get some Purple Dub hopes, man. So Purple Dub hopes, sponsored by 612Tees. Great Minnesota-based apparel company. Some sweet shirts, sweet sweatshirts, sweet hoodies. Purple Dubs 25 gets you 25% off your first order. As we think about the GM spot moving forward, what hopes do you have for the Minnesota Vikings front office GM spot, Darin?
My hopes are, like I said earlier, I want to see KOC have a major hand in the personnel decisions. I think that's going to pay dividends for especially the offense, with him being able to pick the guys that he wants and knows will fit in his system and his scheme. So I hope that regardless of who they end up going with, I hope he plays a major role. And that's why I kind of like to see it be Rob Brzezinski, who's already in-house. Yeah. He'll handle a lot of the money stuff department, but it would be great to see KO kind of flex that muscle a bit and step more into that role.
Yeah. I guess for me, man, if JJ wasn't the guy and KOC believed that, like, our head coach needs to be making the call on who the quarterback is for next season. And so I got high hopes that whoever is at quarterback 1 next year will be endorsed by our head coach and our GM, but hopefully our head coach is more making that call than our GM. And then, like you said, I think giving Flores and KOC the keys to this, I mean, it's your guys' year. It's your guys' year to figure things out and get the Minnesota Vikings back in the playoffs, get a playoff win, get us to the Super Bowl, and get us a Lombardi trophy.
Just like that.
Simple as that.
Why not us?
All right. Well, Darin, you and I were talking earlier in the week before this news blew up, and we were thinking about, hey, how can we make this a little bit more personal to our feelings about the Minnesota Vikings season? And so you and I have both put together our top 5 favorite moments from this Minnesota Vikings season. This kind of stemmed from the Minnesota Vikings put out their top 10. But we figured, hey, these are our top 10 moments. There's where the top 10 plays. So let's start you and I going through our top 5 plays. We'll go 5. We'll just go one right after another all the way to 1. So what was your top 5 moment of the Vikings season this past year?
Are we like starting with our best one?
No. Sorry. 5 to 1. We'll work back with
5.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go number 5. And it's not a play, but just the Dallas game, because that was such a fun game. It was Sunday night. We knew we're like out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
But just watching a Sunday night game, watching a team that showed up to play that actually looked like they could play offensive football, was just amazing. Just after the way the season had gone, I just remember watching this thinking, this is so fun. to actually watch like a game that's competitive. The team looks good. The players are having fun. Like, so that to me was just like, I remember just that feeling watching that game today. Like, this is unbelievably fun. And this is what the season should have been.
I agree. And it was prime time. It was like the world was watching. It was against America's team.
Yeah.
It felt like a moment where our team really shined, which we were hoping that they had been shining way sooner than that.
Yeah.
But I agree. I think that was a cool moment. For me, number 5, it's Will the Thrill, man.
Love it.
Pick your moment from Will the Thrill. Probably him breaking the most 50-yarders in a single season for the Minnesota Vikings. But to me, that guy's accuracy, that guy's little bit of swag, demeanor.
Even his misses were memorable.
Yeah, exactly. Even his misses got the news. Maybe that's my 5. The Wire in London. But anyways, it was Will the Thrill. Pick your moment from him this season. But definitely the highlight, probably from our entire offense this year, was Will Reichard being out there kicking field goals. So that's my number 5. What's your number 4?
I'm gonna go Lions Christmas Day game. Just the way the defense absolutely dominated the Lions.
Yeah.
Like, the Lions offense is no joke, and we absolutely destroyed them. And then the cherry on top was, of course, the Jordan Addison, like 60, 70 yard end around run for the touchdown, which was a great way to cap off that victory. A victory that contained very little offense for really both teams. But watching our defense shut them down, though, was super fun. So
Max Brosmer's coming out party,
going in party. I don't know.
Oh, well, my number 4 is the Isaiah Rodgers second quarter against the Bengals.
That's a good one.
NFL history, first to take a fumble and an interception back for a touchdown. I mean, you were there, just the energy of that game, the excitement of that game, and just literally the game went from a close game to a blowout in a span of 5 minutes, maybe. I mean, that was so insane. So I'm going to go Isaiah Rodgers. Shout out to you. You're my number 4 moment for the Vikings.
Nice.
Number 3.
I'm going the touchdown pass to Jordan Addison against the Browns in London. Carson Wentz. That was just remember from the week before when he didn't quite get it done against the Steelers, and then put that drive together and ends the game hitting Addison there in the end zone. So that was pretty amazing.
No, absolutely. I mean, we were unsure how things were going at that point, and I feel like that got our hopes up a little bit higher than they probably should have been with Carson Wentz at quarterback. But that dime pass there to Addison, catches a ball, scores. I mean, just what a moment for the Vikings.
Yeah.
My number 3 is ending the season on a 5-game winning streak. I mean, not every team gets to say they won their last 5 games at the end of the year. Even those playoff teams, all of them but one is going to end on a loss. So
that's true.
5 straight games to finish out the season there. I don't know, it just gave me a lot of excitement, and to do it at the end of the year where we won 5 straight. You would like to see that, transition us into the playoffs, but those 5 games at least gave us something to be excited about as we were trying
100%.
our best as the Purple Dopes to bring some hopes every single week. So,
well, and obviously our draft position's worse now, but I'm still happy we won those games. I think
100%.
I'm super excited moving into next year, having won those games and the way we looked. Absolutely agree.
Well, as the Purple Dopes podcast, we kind of needed that. We kind of needed that going into the end of that game or into the season for sure. So, all right, we are on to our number 2 here, Darin. So go ahead and hit me with your number 2 highlight or number 2 moment of the Viking season.
Number 2, I am going. This is a play. It's the back shoulder throw to Jalen Naylor to end the Lions game.
Yes.
At Detroit, and JJ McCarthy goes out and just daggers them on that play. And that was just threw a dime. That was a great route. Still just one of those plays that I look back on the season that if JJ is the guy going into next year, like, it's those kinds of plays that I'm super excited to see more of.
I think those are what gets us excited about him potentially being our quarterback, is those moments, which takes me to my number 2 moment, which is week 1, 4th quarter against Chicago, when JJ McCarthy goes 3 TDs to give us our first victory at Soldier Field, and just lit the Vikings world on fire with the hopes that
Absolutely.
we had after week one. But
NFC Offensive Player of the Week.
Offensive Player of the Week. Mainly the play I want to highlight is the run pass or run option read. There we go.
Yep.
Takes it to the end zone. Just that, flex in the end zone, the teams around him. People are calling him a psycho. That's when the dog came out, all that stuff. When 9 was born. But yeah, that is my number 2 is Chicago fourth quarter. All right, man. We have not won that crossover.
That was my number 1. So
okay.
That's our crossover. Yep. So number 1 for me was certainly that first game of the year, that fourth quarter. Don't want to say we peaked. I think we peaked a little too early this year, but yeah, that was a great way to kick off the season. Super excited, following that game the entire week, and then obviously the way the season unfolded wasn't quite what we hoped for, but that certainly was a fantastic way to kick off the year.
I think it's safe to say that the Minnesota Vikings are the middle school kid that has a mustache. This season can be described as that.
Mustache, maybe a little chest hair.
Exactly. That's what the Minnesota Vikings season was in 2025. Was the middle school kid who has the mustache and is taller than everyone, but doesn't really have the skills. He's just taller, so he scores. Anyways, that was us week 1.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I think as I look back on this season and think back, in 10, 20 years when we're still doing the Purple Dopes with Hopes, when we're on episode 300 and not 30, I'm going to remember this being Harrison Smith's final year.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to remember that end of the game when he comes out, the fans give him the ovation. The guys on the sidelines are kind of bowing before him, putting his crown on him, giving his flowers. I think, as bad as things were this year, in 10 years, we're going to remember Harrison Smith, his final year, what he was able to do, getting that interception, to tie him with the second or third all time. I just think that's what we'll remember in 10 years from this year.
Yeah. I still remember going through the starting lineup that day, and they announced him last, and place, it's like a bomb went off, man, just exploded. People are so excited. So yeah, totally agree with that.
I mean, you wish that he would be going out on Super Bowl Sunday next week. But lo and behold, it didn't work out for us. So all is well. But anyways, Harrison Smith, thank you for being a true Minnesota Viking.
Absolutely.
Coming back for another year when he didn't have to, and really kind of leading that defense for the last, 10 plus years. He's done it.
I'm just going to put it out there. He hasn't officially retired yet. And now with Flores back, I'm just going to leave that sitting there. We'll see.
We'll leave that door open for him. And Harrison, if you ever want to come and announce, your retirement or non-retirement on a small and up-and-coming Vikings podcast, we welcome you. Come on in.
Love to have you. Yeah, it'd be great.
Oh, all right, Darin. Well, we are moving into Super Bowl Sunday, where we got the Seattle Seahawks led by some guy that used to play quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings and the Patriots. I got a little question for you this week because I was doing some Super Bowl research. And in the history of the Super Bowl, there's only 4 quarterbacks who've started for 2 different teams as they've been in the Super Bowl. So they're the starter of one team, and then they leave that team or get traded or whatever, and they're the starter of another. I think you'll be able to get 3 of them. But there's 4 of them
There's 4 of them.
4 of them in NFL history. I think you can probably get 3 of them if you think about it. The 4th one, if you do, kudos to you, man, because this is going way back in the NFL history.
I mean, the 2 no-brainers are Brady and Manning.
Brady and Manning, correct. Yep. Brady did it with the Bucks and then the Pats. And actually, Brady's the only quarterback in history to start one year and then start the next year in the Super Bowl with 2 different teams. And then Manning did it with the Colts and the Broncos.
Yep. Let's see. So Brady, Manning. I should be able to get the next one. I just gotta.
You gotta code it like early 2000s, and then guy went kind of quiet, and then made a resurgence and a run. Honestly, the second run that he made was one of the most impressive NFL runs ever. I mean, it was impressive. And a wide receiver that really did more things than anyone thought possible as they were making the run.
Oh, this is gonna bug me if I don't get this. Early 2000s.
They beat the Packers. This team did.
beat the Packers in the Super Bowl?
No, they beat the Packers on his second run. They beat the Packers, I think, to go to the Super Bowl with one of the most amazing fourth quarter drives, capped off by an amazing play by this wide receiver who's probably got the second best hands in NFL.
Kurt Warner. Yeah. No doubt. Yep.
So Kurt Warner does it with the Rams, and then he
Rams and then the Cardinals.
Once again, I just think that Cardinals run was one of the most fun runs.
It was. Well, and then I still remember Larry Fitzgerald catching that one, splitting the D and taking it to the house. And man, that's going to be highlight that's played forever. And then obviously Santonio Holmes with maybe the greatest Super Bowl catch.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll talk about that on another episode, but David Tyree's helmet catch.
That's true. That's never going to get topped.
That's true. Yeah. All right. The last one, dude, you got to go way back for this one. If you get this, man, I'll buy you coffee tomorrow morning.
I mean, I'm probably not going to get it. It's not a well-known guy then. It's not like Johnny Unitas.
So he played for the Cowboys and he played for the Broncos. And Roger
Staubach. I can think of for the Cowboys, is it Staubach?
It is not Staubach. This guy was replaced by Staubach. The guy's name is Craig Morton.
Craig Morton. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So Purple Dopers.
I know I've heard the name, but that's not one I would have pulled out of my hat.
Well, that's fair because I had never heard the name. So do your research, Purple Dope listeners. We would love to hear more about the life and times of Craig Morton as the Cowboys and Broncos.
The other team he played with the Cowboys, then who else?
And the Broncos.
Okay.
And they played the Cowboys in the Super Bowl.
Oh, funny.
So he played against his old team in the Super Bowl.
That's great.
All right, friends. Well, every week we don't think we're going to have something to talk about, and then we sit and talk for 30 plus minutes. So who knows what's going to happen next week.
Can't wait to see what next week brings us.
Absolutely. Well, exciting thing. Next week, we are going to bring you another episode of Straight Skull. Got another Vikings content creator, Jason Harmon, coming on. Talk some Vikings content creation. So should be super fun. Great follow on Twitter. So please, if you are tuning in, make sure that you go ahead and follow the show on our podcast platforms, as well as subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like I said, we're closing in on 200. So let's hit 200 this week, and then who knows what happens next. So
it's a race to 300.
And then we got the Super Bowl next Sunday. So we'll be able to have some good conversations about what's going on with the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
Cool. All right, Vikings fans, as always, thanks for tuning in. We skull, you skull, we all skull together. We'll see you guys next week.
Skull.